Welcome to our game today. We have a very interesting game between Mikhail Tal and Tigran Petrosian in a blitz game from 1975. Now, in The Art of War, Sun Tzu said, "Do not repeat the tactics which have gained you one victory, but let your methods be regulated by the infinite variety of circumstances." And really, Tal was the master of this. Playing Petrosian, who was known as Iron Tigran because of his wonderful defense, Tal plays a really interesting response to the French defense. As we can see here, after Petrosian plays knight to d7, we get bishop to d3, c5, e takes d5, knight takes d5, castles by Tal, c takes d4, knight b3, and knight to c5, attacking the light square bishop by Petrosian. And Tal here starts a really interesting maneuver in this game. Of course, he could just take back with the knight, but that would give Petrosian a free um, tempo and also of bringing out his bishop. He can now castle on his next move and is protecting this pawn. So instead we get bishop to b5 followed by bishop to d7, and after these bishops are traded off we get queen takes d4. Now Petrosian decides, well, let's try and trade off the queens by going queen a4. And here Tal really shows, as we mentioned, not repeating the tactics. He was always a tactical genius, Tal. But he plays a rather wonderful and rather, on first glance, bizarre move of pawn to c4. Now, pawn to c4 is attacking the knight, which is good. However, it is allowing this knight to take this knight, which would then you would have to take back, because if knight takes, you're attacking the queen, so you would have to take the pawn back. But you are attacking the queen and the knight, forcing the queen to take the rook, and you can now take the exchange back. And that's what happens in the game. So of course, Tal will have many nice ideas, because if Petrosian decides here, well, let's castle, you could play queen c4 check, and things are going to get a little bit nasty after knight, or after you play bishop to f4, you win the queen. Or if instead, after queen c4, you could play king to d7, but then you could play d takes pawn, f takes pawn, knight checks, and after the king goes somewhere like e7, again we have the same issue, and this time you after king d7 you wouldn't actually even take the queen, because you've got this nice little combination of a checkmate on the back rank. So very tricky stuff here. And so in the game, Petrosian, as we said, Iron Tigran finds a wonderful defensive maneuver here of queen to a6. Now we can still open up the attacking lines here if we show this, but again we see after rook to e1 by Tal, we do get long castle by Petrosian. Then we get bishop to f4, which is nicely attacking, attacking along the dark squares and stopping any escape from the king there, which means lining up the rook on c1 is really going to be a bit of a problem for Petrosian. So we get rook to takes d5, attacking the queen, and we get the rook c1, we get king to d8, we get bishop to g5, attacking the queen, or attacking the king, and because the rook is now pinned, he can't take this bishop, and if you decided, well, to go f6, you've got this nice little combination of moves where queen takes f6 with check, and you're going to end up winning this rook. Whatever the combination of moves you take, you're going to win the rook. So you would be up a pawn and winning the game. So Petrosian decides to go to e8. Now the issue with e8 is that it opens up a whole combination of moves here. We look at where the rook can play. We look at where the everything is positioned very nicely here for Tal. But in the game we get knight to e5. Now knight to e5 is sacrificing the queen, which is a wonderful move you may think by Tal, very Tal-esque, but it's a mistake. It's actually minus 6.5 for black. Now, there is only one move that saves the game. Can you find the one move that saves the game for black in this position? Well, the one move that saves the game for black is bishop to c5. That's the only thing that saves the game, because after, if you try to take with your rook, well, you get this very nice combination of queen check. After you block with the rook to stop the checkmate, you take with the bishop, and after the rook takes, you're in all sorts of trouble with check coming next. Can't save the bishop. So very, very complicated stuff, and a complete and utter defeat here. Um, Now, if instead you had gone for rook to c8, after king to d7, rook to d8, queen to f4, there's this very nice move of bishop to d6, and there is no way to actually win the game from here because of the back rank. So you can't take the rook because of the back rank, and so you are losing the game. So as we mentioned, we had knight to e5, and in this position, Petrosian plays an absolute disastrous blunder. What is the disastrous blunder that he plays? Can you see it? Makes sense, because he's worried of this rook move. He plays b6, and it is a disastrous move, because after queen a4 check, if you take with the queen, you get this beautiful opera checkmate, and if you don't, you lose your queen. So we see here Petrosian, Iron Tigran, fighting for his life, but unfortunately he ends up losing the game here with a very nice attacking move by Tal. But again, Tal, as you can see, is really playing up on the fact that he is a wonderful tactical genius, and Petrosian resigns in this position. Thanks for watching.